Welcome back, you guys. In today's video, we are going to be removing this gorgeous, not at all dated or weird wallpaper. The purpose of the video is to show you what works and what doesn't, so you don't have to waste your time like I did. The first tool I tried was a wallpaper scoring tool from Richard. It did okay making a bunch of little holes, but I also managed to break it in about 5 minutes. Next, I tried using this wallpaper stripper from Zinsser. I sprayed it on the perforated part, and I also thought, well, if wallpaper stripper is so great, maybe it'll work through unperforated wallpaper. So I left it for about 30 minutes while I finished chipping up this floor, and then when I came back to it and started scraping, I think I just found a lucky spot where there was a bunch of air under the wallpaper, because it worked fairly well on the spot that had no perforations. However, when I went to the other side of the wall that I had done the scoring on, it did literally nothing. It had zero effect. Next, I tried scoring it and using a sponge to soak it with water. I also decided to try a part of the wall with just water, no perforations, to see if that would do anything as well. So the results from the paper scorer and water were mid at best. It was too slow in my opinion, and as could be expected from the just water and no scoring, it did nothing. However, as I was starting to pick away at the paper, I noticed that I could pull the face of the paper right off, at which point I could easily soak the paper and get it saturated. Once the backing paper was soaked, it scraped off really easily, so this was definitely the most promising solution yet. The question remained as to how easily could I continue to peel off the face paper. When I was lucky, it would come off in nice big chunks, and it made for easy soaking. And for anyone who has removed wallpaper before, I think you can tell just how satisfying this is about to get. So satisfying, in fact, that nothing in the world can truly capture it as well as a cheesy YouTube montage. Done. What a mess. Yep. All done. But let's take a look at the walls. So it came off in basically perfect condition with just the odd little gouge here and there. Whereas the one where I tried to use that tool is full of little perforations, right? It's full of little gouges everywhere. So that's gonna need just one simple skim coat will take care of that. A tight skim will probably make all of those disappear. The much bigger job is actually going to be repairing this part of the wall, but that is going to be a separate video. And sneak preview, I might actually try plaster for the first time in a while instead of just joint compound. so that we can get some nice smooth walls without all the dust. Okay, so let's quickly go over what we learned there. All right, the spray, the wallpaper gel stuff, completely useless. That did absolutely nothing. Also, you don't have to use a sponge to wipe water on the walls. I just bought one and figured it would be a good tool. You could probably use a paintbrush, you could use a cloth, you could use a spray bottle, all kinds of things. Again, the best tool you can possibly use is probably just a well-worn-in putty knife, because it's got sort of softer edges that aren't going to dig into the drywall. The worst possible choice would be one of these wallpaper scrapers with the razor blades on the end. If you are removing wallpaper from drywall, it will absolutely destroy your walls. However, if you are removing old wallpaper from plaster walls, it will likely be much more forgiving. But I still think just a good old-fashioned worn-in putty knife, even on plaster walls, is still probably your best choice. And as for the little perforator tool, it's got some name. I just keep calling it the perforator. But as for that, I would say first try and see if you can tear off the wallpaper. If you can tear it off and then get that paper part behind saturated, you're going to be able to scrape it off just as easy as I did. But if that's not going to be the case, then yes, run one of those up and down the wall. And again, you will have to skim the wall after, but I'm sure because those little holes are so tiny that you could just do a tight skim with pretty thin mud and then a very light sand over the whole wall. I do have videos on all that kind of stuff. So if you just look up any of the Vancouver Carpenter skimming walls videos, hopefully I've decided to be more helpful than that and leave you one that can be more specific, but I haven't dug through them yet myself. I don't remember everything I've made over the years. And most importantly, leave a comment. Let me know, what are your wallpaper horror stories? Tell me what worked, what didn't, and what happened when you tried to do this, because I think I got off pretty easy with this one. I know there's some very difficult wallpapers out there. This one I think was pretty easy. So let me know in the comments what the worst one you ever dealt with and how you dealt with it was, and what you would do differently if it didn't work out well. But anyways, yeah, that's wallpaper removal. Again, it might actually be the first time. If I have done it, it's been so long ago I can't remember. I've definitely pulled old wallpaper off that was just coming off easily, but many times we've actually painted and skimmed it out. I'm not recommending it necessarily, it's just the course we took. So you can do it, it's risky, depends on the wallpaper, how sound it is underneath. I bet if we shellacked this one, we probably could have skimmed it out after, but you know what? It is better just to get that layer off in case there's problems underneath it. That way we don't have a bunch of blisters and hollow spots under the wallpaper. Okay, so hopefully you got something out of this video, and I want to say a big thanks. Till the next one. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else to say.